Jin didn't linger there and immediately turned to leave. Khan, after watching Jin's retreating figure, realized there was some kind of energy surrounding him. He furrowed his brows in deep thought, astonished this energy was definitely not aura. Could it be mana? If so, this was no longer just a simple family quarrel between siblings. He needed to report to the clan leader immediately. Khan turned and called a nearby soldier, who saluted respectfully upon seeing him. Khan shot the soldier a cold glance and ordered a horse to be brought. By then, Jin had returned to his room. Looking down from above, he saw Khan hastily preparing a horse and silently calculated that Khan would report to father as expected. Watching Khan gallop away, ignoring the weather and the storm outside, Jin thought that Khan wasn't just their protector, but also their supervisor in Khan's eyes. This seemed like magic, so he certainly couldn't stay put. As Jin pondered, he moved his fingers, and a dark magical aura appeared like a thin smoke enveloping his hand's spiritual power, the sole proof of his pact with the sorcerer. Thanks to this power, he knew the pact still held in this life. Moreover, the curse immunity granted by the sorcerer under the pact had helped him escape the flame curse. Jin clenched his fist in resentment. The foolish youngest son of the Runkindle family was no more. In this life, his fate would be completely different from the previous one. The only thing left was to meet Solderet. By now, the sky was beginning to brighten and the storm had ended. Khan had met the head of the Runkindle family and reported everything he had witnessed. "That's all, sir." Karen, Jin's father, sat in somber silence after hearing the full account. The young master had fought with his siblings. "Khan, assemble the knights. I will go meet my youngest son." In an instant, the Runkindle Knight Order assembled all the elite of the family, with an overwhelmingly grand presence. A young man respectfully reported, "We have gathered the 7 flag bearers of the Runkindle family and 200 knights under their command, sir." Karen, mounted on horseback, surveyed the Knight Order. It was fully assembled with all the talented faces. After scanning them once, he ordered, "To the Thunderstorm Castle." Due to the nighttime emergency summons of the Knight Order, Mary, the 7th flag bearer of Runkindle, asked curiously while walking, "An emergency summons? Do you know anything about this, Brother First?" "I just asked Luna, but I bet she doesn't know either." Mary yawned widely. "I'm busy fighting witches, First." The 4th flag bearer of Runkindle walked while stroking his chin in thought. "Next year, the Tona twins will leave Thunderstorm Castle. Maybe it's about that." Suddenly, he turned back. "Or perhaps it's to meet our youngest brother." Hearing Diffuse, Mary was quite surprised and raised her voice. "The youngest? Why?" Diffuse replied calmly, "During the selection, that kid chose the sword of the founder, remember?" Mary suddenly recalled it and exclaimed dramatically, "Ah, right. But it's not something big enough to mobilize the entire Knight Order at night. Did father come back just for that?" Diffuse didn't know either. Who can know what father's thinking? Luna, the 1st flag bearer of Runkindle, walking ahead, heard their noisy discussion and turned to remind them, "Mary, Diffuse." Mary realized they were talking too loudly and said embarrassedly, "Oops, sorry, sis." "Think before you speak, First." Mary said that with a slightly displeased look. Father personally coming home to meet him? Is that kid that useful at Thunderstorm Castle? Julie was adjusting Jin's clothes and happily announced, "The clan leader is coming to meet us. He must be eager to see his son." Jin, not particularly concerned, replied casually, "Perhaps." As Jin thought silently while turning his back for Julie to comb his hair, Khan must have told father everything. Khan is quite straightforward, so he probably didn't mention that I used magic. He just reported what he saw. Julie gently held the comb and adjusted Jin's hair. "Please turn this way a bit." While Julie focused on combing, Jin pondered why father was coming. The youngest son could use a power beyond magic and aura. Father probably returned to check what that power was, to see if it or I myself could become a useful asset for the family's future. At that moment, the Knight Order arrived at Thunderstorm Castle. The massive gates opened, revealing a line of majestic knights in perfect formation. A unified voice echoed powerfully, demonstrating the immense authority of the leader. "We humbly welcome the clan leader." Karen strode in boldly with sky-high aura and immediately ordered, "Bring the Tona twins here." The Tona brothers were brought and knelt before Karen. He called their names sternly, Tona and Haitona. The two children below immediately bowed their heads, not daring to show their usual defiance. Yes, father. Before they could speak further, he continued, I hear you fought with Jin. Tell me, what was your fault? Confronted immediately with blame, they widened their eyes in fear, their bodies stiffening. After a while, they reluctantly came up with an excuse to defend themselves. We didn't do anything wrong. It was Jin who injured us. They still hadn't realized their mistakes and immediately shifted all blame to Jin. That's right, father, that power was abnormal. It wasn't aura. It looked like magic. Seeing father's eyes narrow into slits, they eagerly added fuel to the fire. In our family, using magic is taboo, right, father? If Jin used magic, we must interrogate him quickly before he hides it. Marion first stood silently observing, sighing at the Tona brothers' shameless reversal. Those idiots are hopeless. Without letting them continue fabricating, Karen interrupted. Enough. Listen carefully to these words. He looked straight into their eyes and warned gravely. If you continue this behavior, you won't survive in the Runcandle family. They now realized they had gone too far and began to regret, looking at their father in fear. Ignoring the brothers, he ordered, Call Jin here. As Jin entered, he saw the Tona brothers with fearful expressions and understood father, Karen, was the strongest and most ruthless person he knew, titled the Genesis Knight, the pinnacle of demigods. Before receiving that title, he was just an ordinary human. However, after being bestowed it, he gradually lost all mundane emotions, becoming someone who knew only glory and the family's future. Thus, to father, those without sword talent like me were mere trash. Jin clenched his fists he had decided, but this time it was different. In this life, no one could look down on him. Thinking so, Jin gained courage to face Karen. He walked in boldly, without fear or panic, calmly confronting him. Seeing Jin's attitude surprised everyone. Glancing at his composure, Mary was quite astonished and leaned forward to see the family's youngest clearly. Seeing her nosy demeanor, he frowned openly and glared at her uncomfortably. But Mary didn't care at all. Jin entered the hall, surrounded by countless people, and calmly knelt on one knee in respectful salute. I humbly greet the clan leader. Hearing this distant address, Karen was slightly displeased. Clan leader? Don't you call me father? Jin raised his face and explained, There are all the siblings here, many guards, and over 100 family members attending. So I thought today father came for official business. I believe this address was more appropriate. Luna, standing nearby, was also amazed by Jin's thoughtful reasoning. Karen praised, very good. Jin didn't become arrogant from the praise and remained humble. Thank you, clan leader. Karen got straight to the point. But today I came for another purpose. You may call me father. I'll ask you the same as your siblings. He asked sternly, What do you think you did wrong? Yes, Jin clenched his fist, resolute. I just wanted revenge. As a Runcandle, one must repay kindness and avenge grudges. Jin stated with a righteous expression, not feeling he was wrong at all. Mary somewhat approved of her youngest brother's attitude, matching her own repay favors, avenge enmities. Karen pondered silently for a long while, then turned to everyone. Except for the youngest, everyone else leave. Karen's single command caused a stir. Did the young master pass the clan leader's test? A general, seeing too much discussion, reminded, The clan leader has ordered, don't dawdle. Immediately, the soldiers formed ranks and marched out of the hall orderly. As you command. Mary followed everyone out, finding the youngest intriguing. Confronting father directly? That kid's not bad. Once only the two remained, Karen explained why he wanted a private talk. I had everyone leave because I have something to ask you. The Tona twins told me you have an abnormal power. The Runcandle family taboos magic because touching it prevents reaching the pinnacle of swordsmanship. So what power did you use? If you dared touch magic, I won't let it slide. Jin was silent for a moment, then smiled. Yes, that's remembering the source of the power. If father knows this power, he won't be able to ignore it because it's Solderet's power. Politely, I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if it's magic or aura, nor what to call it. If father doesn't mind, please help me identify this power. As he spoke, a sphere appeared in Jin's hand. Inside was white-blue, enveloped by a dark black aura. Upon witnessing Jin's power, Karen frowned, surprise evident. This is the power of the Runcandle family's founder. Karen stared astonished at the power sphere Jin created. That dark energy, the shadow energy of Soldaret. That meant this child was destined to become the family's master. Under Jin's expectant gaze for an explanation. Father? He confirmed, yes, that's the power of Soldaret, the god of shadows. Jin still didn't fully understand. God of shadows? And Karen explained, yes, Soldaret made a pact with the founder of the Runkendel family, Tamar, and has been on our side since then. But since Tamar passed away, Soldaret hasn't appeared in Runkendel anymore. I don't know the reason for this, but it seems he's trying to connect with Runkendel through you. Jin asked further, Father, I'm curious about one thing. Is that God stronger than you? Truthfully, Karen didn't know. He thought for a moment. I don't know, as I've never fought a god. Hearing this answer, Jin thought inwardly, Father has never fought a god. That's truly the most arrogant response I've heard. At that moment, Karen approached him and patted his head with approval. My son, that's a good question. Thanks to your naive question, I found a wonderful topic for conversation. Coming to visit you today was indeed a wise decision. So, let me ask you in return, how do you want to use that shadow energy? And of course, not disappointing Karen, Jin answered clearly, I want to use this shadow power for the benefit of the family, clan leader. Karen, hearing Jin, frowned and asked again, for the family, then laughed as if amused. That's the most ridiculous lie I've ever heard. He told him, you beat your brothers to a pulp and threw them into the storm, and now you say you'll use this power for the family? Then he demanded, tell me the truth. Jin's hand trembled. As expected, he won't let this slide easily. After a struggle, Jin admitted, I want to use this power for myself. But unexpectedly, Karen was quite pleased with his honesty. All right, I like this straightforward answer. Afterward, he left and instructed, I'll be watching you closely from now on. After Father left, Jin sighed in relief, his tense body gradually relaxing, nearly making him unsteady. Great, I got through this safely. Getting permission to use the shadow energy as I like is the best. But now Father has expectations of me. This is an outcome beyond my predictions. This life is worlds apart from the previous one. Jin clenched the power in his hand, smiling satisfied, completely different from his past life. Before leaving with Father, Mary suddenly returned and gave Jin a gift. Here, youngest, take this. Seeing the carefully wrapped box, Jin stammered, Sister Mary, what is this? Mary didn't give Jin a chance to refuse and immediately handed the box to Julie nearby. Here, hold it, it's heavy. Julie quickly extended both hands to hold the box carefully. Yes? Mary pointed at the box. This is a special gift from me to you. After handing it over, Mary flashed a mischievous smile and didn't forget to instruct Jin, cook it, chew it thoroughly, and get strong quickly, okay? Mary quickly returned to the fifth night order. Seeing her back, someone asked, Where's your luggage? Mary smiled nonchalantly. I gave it to the youngest. Watching their departing figures, Jin wondered, Sister Mary, why me? When he opened the gift box, a brilliant golden pink light radiated around. Jin and Julie stood frozen at the sight of the incredibly valuable gift. This is a phoenix heart. At that moment, Jin thought, giving this to a 7-year-old kid, Sister Mary, is truly crazy. To speak of Mary Jane Runcandle, she was a Star Knight and the 7th flag bearer of Runcandle, also known as Wind Fury. She had another name not many knew, the Mad Woman of the Southern Territory. The reason this battle-hardened sister gave him this was clear. Get strong quickly and become my rival. If eaten young, it wouldn't just grant fire resistance, but act as an elixir that grows with him. As he thought about it, the Phoenix Heart was necessary for a 6-star mage to safely summon a phoenix. In this life, perhaps he could summon a phoenix. While lost in thought about the Phoenix Heart, Julie had quickly prepared it and brought it up. Young master, have you been waiting long? Seeing the dish presented, Jin said politely, thank you, Julie. Julie placed the steaming soup on the table. Lady Mary gave you a wonderful gift. Please eat it before it cools. Jin prepared to eat, but then said helplessly, But before that, brothers, if you have something to say it quickly. The Tona twins were hiding in a corner, drooling at the soup on the table. When they realized Jin had spotted them, they abandoned hiding and shamelessly came out begging. Ah, nothing. It just looks like too much for you to eat alone. Tona chimed in. Yeah, I saw Julie carrying a big bowl. Jin was speechless at their logic. You guys want to eat it that badly? Hearing that, the two kids' eyes lit up as they nodded vigorously. Then listen to my request. You two need to do one thing. So, a while later, the Tona brothers were seen digging a tunnel under Thunderstorm Castle, complaining while digging diligently. Why do we have to do this? Yeah, there's nothing here. Why are we doing this? What if someone sees us digging this? Tona dug vigorously. What are you saying? Obviously, the youngest will get punished. What could happen to us? Daytona saw his brother's point. You're right. We just need to eat that soup. Yeah, and the youngest is a bit scary. Finally, they dug to where Jin needed the tunnel was right above the secret room. In the center of the room was a large glass tube containing a tall, muscular man's body, exuding mystery. The Tona brothers finished digging after a while and returned in a disheveled state, covered in mud. Julie, seeing the two kids' appearance, widened her eyes in shock. Jin was sitting there waiting for them. Welcome back, brothers. You came quickly. They shouted grumpily. Shut up, we did as you said, so give us the soup. Jin acted generously. I placed it on the table. The two kids forgot their fatigue and ran quickly to the table. Really? When they looked down at the table and searched, they didn't see any soup. They only found 2 tiny spoonfuls on plates. Despairing and speechless, they darkened their faces looking at the tiny portions. They were furious but couldn't beat Jin, so they gritted their teeth and endured. Isn't this too little? Jin replied indifferently, ignoring them. I said I'd give you some, but I never specified how much. But I kept my promise, right? So, please enjoy. The Tona brothers looked at the spoonfuls, gnashing their teeth in anger. Yeah, thanks a lot. That evening, with heavy rain, Jin quickly donned a raincoat and went to the tunnel the Tona brothers had dug. Standing before the tunnel, Jin marveled. I thought they'd do it sloppily, but they actually did a good job. After evaluating, he thought, with this thickness, I think 1-star magic is enough. The wall wasn't too thick, so he could use magic to break it, since his mana kept increasing without him being able to do anything with it. He condensed magic into an energy sphere and directly shattered the earth layer around the secret room with a boom. The blocking wall was destroyed, revealing the secret storage before Jin's eyes. He was delighted. Finally, I've arrived. The run candle secret storage standing before the door, Jin thought. In my previous life, I never had a chance to enter here, so it's quite unfamiliar. When I came, I said I had to say the keyword. Jin pondered for a moment and smiled. I think I know what the keyword is. Jin immediately uttered a few keywords. The child of Runkendel has come to control Murakan. And then the gate gradually opened after the incantation. Jin surveyed the room once. The Runkendel secret storage is used to store the secret tomes of the families they've defeated over 1,000 years, and only the flag bearers of the Runkandel family can enter here. Jin marveled. It's quite spacious. He recalled that in his previous life, an older brother had told him about this room, and said he didn't need to know about it because he couldn't become a flag bearer. Jin felt fortunate. But you helped me a lot, brother. Thanks to that, I learned the key to enter. Now I'll make full use of it. Then Jin proceeded deeper and discovered something strange. Before him was a man sealed inside a gigantic glass tank. What is that? Approaching to observe, Jin noticed the black aura surrounding him, with strange marks on his face. Jin guessed, So, is this you? Jin reached out and lightly touched the transparent glass surface, feeling the black aura inside. Something like this. But then he suddenly remembered. Don't tell me. In the incantation to enter the room, there was a phrase, the child of Runkandel has come to control Murakan. And if my guess is right, the one sleeping here is the Black Dragon Murakan. It was said that the Black Dragon Murakan was defeated by the first flag bearer of the Runkandel family and fell into a deep sleep. I thought it was just a legend, but now Jin had seen him with his own eyes. But I never thought it was real. After a fleeting thought, Jin pushed aside ideas about Murakan and continued searching for the secret tomes. I don't have time for this. Where are the secret tomes? Are they here? And while he was searching, it seemed Muraken's body began to awaken, with small movements starting in his hands. Jin was still engrossed in searching and finally found them. Found it! Standing before a vast bookshelf, Jin was astonished yet excited. These are secret tomes from all kinds of families. Let's see, I'll check the gunner families since they're sword users too. After flipping through a few pages, Jin pondered. It's quite difficult compared to three-star magic theory. I want to take them with me, but it'd be easy to get caught. With that, Jin quickly took out a notebook and pen. I'll copy them each time I come here. The next morning, Jin promptly returned to Thunderstorm Castle as usual, obediently sitting and reading under Julie's care until nightfall, when he sneaked through the tunnel to the secret room to copy the tomes. That night, while Jin was focused on copying in the secret room, he suddenly heard a strange noise. Jin immediately stood up to check. Who's there? He quietly hid behind the door, observing the situation outside. No way. No one at Thunderstorm Castle can come to the secret library at this hour. A cold voice echoed. Hey kid, who are you? Entering through the door was the Black Dragon Muraken himself. Facing Muraken, Jin was utterly shocked and stood frozen in place. Muraken! Why is Muraken? Why is